and gentlemen, it has been 10 days since US and Israel first struck Iran. And if you were to ask the Iranians what lies ahead, they say it is dark, just like our future. This is how people in Tehran are describing life after massive strikes on their oil depots. More than 30 fuel storage facilities have been hit by a wave of Israeli airstrikes in just one day, turning streets of Iran into apocalyptic scenes. Thick black smoke now blankets the Iranian skies. Millions are choking due to the toxic smoke. Warnings of acid rain are only adding to panic and fear. What Donald Trump believed would be an end of a conflict in 4 weeks has entered day 10 with no clear end in sight. With every passing day, the conflict is becoming more brutal. New missiles are being launched, bigger bombs are being dropped, and even water storage facilities are being targeted. As the skies now turn dark and Mojtaba Khamenei replaces his father as Iran's supreme leader, warmongering is only peaking further. There is no silver lining visible so far. Watch this ground report from an Iranian journalist as he stands right in front of flames from a burning oil depot. The evaporating fuel deposits have set crude oil prices on fire. For the first time since 2022, prices have crossed the $100 per barrel mark. Economies across the world are facing the heat, threatened by rising inflation, renewed pressure on currencies, and sharp sell-off in stock markets. India too is watching carefully. Making a suo motu statement in Parliament, External Affairs Minister Dr. S Jaishankar said, Indian government has been constantly monitoring the evolving situation, and India's energy security and safety of Indian nationals and national interests is the topmost priority for the government for now.
Government remains committed to ensuring that fully taking into account availability, costs and risks of the energy markets. For us, the interests of the Indian consumer has and will always be the overriding priority. The well-being and security of the Indian community in the region is our priority. We will continue to work with the governments of the region towards that end. Our national interest, including energy security and trade flows, will always be paramount.
Despite global disruptions, government sources have also assured that there is no shortage of petrol, diesel or aviation turbine fuel in India. Sources have stated that retail petrol and diesel prices will not be increased for now, with expectations that oil will stabilize closer to the $100 per barrel mark. And till $130 per barrel, there is nothing to worry, government sources assure. And with G7 countries set to meet and address oil price surge issue tomorrow, we saw the prices stabilizing after a surge earlier today. No LNG price hike is being planned for domestic consumers, and sources have assured that if required, supplies meant for industry will be diverted to protect household consumption. The government is also stepping in to prevent hoarding of LPG cylinders, extending the booking gap from 21 to 25 days. Refineries have also been directed to ramp up LPG production, and the government is trying everything to maintain that India's energy backup plans are in place and our fuel supplies remain secure. However, none of these assurances have managed to assuage the opposition. While the war rages in West Asia, India alliance is waging its own political battles. As the second part of the budget session began today, the opposition stalled Parliament, demanding now a debate on the Iran conflict, diverting from the earlier debate that they had wanted. No confidence against the Speaker. The Congress and its alliance partners, who created ruckus and raised slogans throughout the foreign minister's statement today, shifted their focus to war, pushing for their own earlier requirement on the back burner. The opposition, once again, up and up.
वेस्ट एशिया का जो मामला है, क्या वो जरूरी नहीं है क्या? फ्यूल प्राइस, इकोनॉमिक डेविस्टेशन, ये जरूरी नहीं है क्या? बट वो डिस्कशन करना नहीं चाहते हैं, क्योंकि उसमें दूसरी बातें निकलेंगी, उसमें प्राइम मिनिस्टर की पोजीशन निकलेगी, प्राइम मिनिस्टर का जो पूरा कॉम्प्रोमाइज हुआ है, जो उन पर ब्लैकमेल किया जा रहा है, वो सवाल उठेगा, तो उसको डिस्कस नहीं करना चाहते। आपने देखा प्राइम मिनिस्टर भाग गए, पार्लियामेंट हाउस से भाग गए।
जयशंकर साहब ने जो स्टेटमेंट रखी कि 67,000 भारतीयों को निकाल लिया गया है उन जगहों से 20 तारीख को।
सवाल 67,000 भारतीयों का ही नहीं, गैस की कीमत क्यों बढ़ाई आप? जो आप एश्योरेंस देंगे कि पेट्रोल डीजल के दाम नहीं बढ़ेंगे? 1 करोड़ भारतवासी उस एरिया में हैं, उन 1 करोड़ की सुरक्षा की गारंटी आप लेंगे? क्या कार्य योजना है उनको निकालने की?
एनर्जी क्राइसिस इज हैपनिंग एवरीवेयर. फ्यूल प्राइसेस आर completely rising day by day. There are people are in distress. The government has to come for a discussion.
सरकार अपना पक्ष साफ करे कि वॉर को वो किस तरीके से ले रहे हैं, उनका राय क्या है इस पर। और फिर हम आत्मनिर्भर की बात कर रहे हैं, हम अमेरिका का ऑर्डर मान रहे हैं, तो हमारी आत्मनिर्भरता और हमारे देश को कोई डिक्टेट कर रहा है कि आपको तेल कितने दिन खरीदना है, कितना ले पाएंगे आप। तो ये कहीं ना कहीं बहस होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो परिस्थितियां दूसरी थीं, आज परिस्थितियां दूसरी हैं। इसलिए विदेश नीति पर और जिस तरीके से विदेश नीति नीलाम की है सरकार ने, उस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए।
Even as the opposition remains adamant on its demand for a debate on the war situation, the government has hit back sharply, accusing them of political theatrics rather than genuine debate. The government has pointed out that whenever it comes to listening to their reply, the opposition simply walks out. It happened during the debate on the SIR issue, where the opposition staged a walkout when it was time for the government to respond. It happened again during the 16-hour debate on Operation Sindoor. The moment the Home Minister rose to reply, the opposition walked out. The same pattern repeated during the debate on the Waqf bill in Lok Sabha. This time too, the same pattern has repeated itself. The centre has now accused the opposition of trying to shift goalposts. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju, in fact, blamed Congress's tendency to appease one leader for these repeated disruptions.
लोकसभा स्पीकर के खिलाफ में बिना कोई कारण और बिना सोच समझ के एक आदमी का जिद को पूरा करने के लिए स्पीकर के खिलाफ में जो प्रस्ताव लाया है, उसको मुंह खाना पड़ेगा, लेकिन उससे बड़ा कांग्रेस पछताएगा और देश के लोग देखेंगे।
इनको ना तो कोई पार्लियामेंट्री प्रोसीजर समझ है, ना ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की इज्जत करते हैं। जब से राहुल गांधी लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन बने हैं, उनके मन में शायद संसद चलाने की इच्छा ही नहीं है। वो पहले से ही सुनियोजित करके आते हैं, ब्लैक कार्ड लेके आना, हाउस डिस्टर्ब करना, बेबुनियाद विषय के ऊपर पार्लियामेंट का समय खराब करना।
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the Motorola legitimate question on the news hour tonight. Is crude politics engulfing Indian Parliament? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, National Spokesperson and Member of Parliament of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow at the IPCS, Suhail Seth, Marketing Guru, columnist Abbas Haider, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Advocate Anmol Pawar, National Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. But my first question goes to Congress leader and my friend Sanjay Jha. And Sanjay Jha, even as we're looking at a worsening situation in the world, we're looking at oil depots being attacked, we're looking at oil prices hardening, the Indian government taking stock of this situation in terms of availability and in terms of consumers' ease. The fact of the matter is that even just a short while ago, the foreign minister of Iran has stated, Mr. Araqchi, 9 days into Operation Epic Mistake, oil prices have doubled while all commodities are skyrocketing. We know the US is plotting against our oil and nuclear sites in hopes of containing huge inflationary shock. Iran is fully prepared, and we too have many surprises in store. So there is of course a build-up of tensions. Why in the middle of this would the opposition want to change the goalposts? Wasn't it the opposition's demand that there should be a no confidence motion? How come you want to dictate a new policy now?
Navika, good evening, and a kind request. I have developed a sore throat, so kindly bear with me. I'll plow through the show. The truth is, it's a very grave subject we are discussing. 90% of our oil demands are met through imports. 90%. That's a staggering number. Now add to that the double whammy that the US rate and the dollar, the rupee is its lowest against the US dollar, which means India's current account deficit on account of its oil bill is going to be simply humongous. It is going to affect us, it's going to create inflation, and who pays for it at the real level? It's a common man. We all know that oil is inelastic. Everyone needs it. It's an essential commodity. If the price of kerosene, LPG rises, you're not going to stop consuming kerosene or petrol. You're not going to stop driving. So as a result of that, the common person suffers. I think energy security is a big issue. And I'll tell you why Rahul Gandhi or the opposition is completely right that this should be a legitimate point of discussion, because we took a call when Mr. Modi visited Israel and effectively backed the Israel-American axis, which is why Iran is not giving us the access to the Hormuz Straits or the port, which is why, unlike Russia and China, we are not getting access to oil. So this government owes an explanation to the people of India on account of its foreign policy. Why did you go silent on not condoling Ayatollah Khamenei's assassination? Why, for example, have you been silent when 168 schoolgirls have been slaughtered in cold blood by the Israelis and the Americans? No comment at all. There's a warship which has been brought down in our region, literally near Sri Lanka, and we are pretending as if Indian Ocean...
One minute, Sanjay Jha. Just take a pause, take a deep breath, and let me give you time to recover. If the government were to respond to all of these questions, where is the guarantee that you would sit down and listen to the government? Because the foreign minister was making a statement and everybody in the opposition was hooting continuously. Even people of India could not take stock of it. Number two, you said a ship was shot down. The foreign minister in his statement read out that one ship, when a SOS was received on the 28th of February, permission given on the 1st of March, came and docked in India on the 4th of March and was given every protection. The rest, read between the lines, is up to the Iranians. They could have sent their 3 ships. They didn't, probably. And therefore, if the government were to make a statement, would you actually sit back, hear it, and stop the histrionics for now?
No, I tell you one thing, Navika, as you know, we are all adults. We all understand economics and foreign policy. I'm very sure of that. If there are going to be 10 million Indians in the Gulf, okay, and you get what, roughly 40% of remittances from the Gulf, 51 billion, 52 billion, and you have around, 50% of your oil imports coming from that region, how can we say don't discuss the war? I mean, to me, it's bizarre. You're in government. Nobody's asking Mr. Modi to resign tomorrow because he's in power, he's got the numbers. But you don't even want to have a discussion. You don't want to tell the people of India on the floor of Parliament, which is the august body. It's not a press conference. It's a discussion that the country watches. It is recorded in the archives. These are serious times. I mean, I can tell you this for a fact, and Navika, you'll agree with me. The West Asia war is now making even conversations of a nuclear escalation a conversation topic. This is a dangerous time. If governments don't talk now...
Yes, this is a dangerous time, but, the danger must be appreciated by the opposition as well. But Dr. Sudhanshu, the Congress party says you must do as they request you to do.
The fact of the matter is, Congress is not interested in any discussion, any solution. They are just trying to shed their frustration. So they always try to create a ruckus. As it has been stated on SIR, the same thing was there. I would like to add, in the previous Lok Sabha, they brought a no confidence motion on Manipur issue. And in the entire discussion, they have not spent just 5% of their talks on Manipur. And at the last moment, they walked out. So it is their typical characteristic कि कोई सूरत बदलना मेरा मकसद नहीं है, मेरा मकसद है हंगामा होना चाहिए. But for millions of viewers which were watching, Navika ji, I would like to ask, can you name a single country in the world among all the major countries where the parliament is installed because a war is going on somewhere else? This is a very peculiar case, which should be a case to understand that what they are trying to show out of that. As far as the India's policy is concerned, it is governed by our self-interest. As and when the other countries take their stance, accordingly we take a stance. Sanjay Jaji, you might be remembering in 1971 war, Iran was sending this force in favor of Pakistan. They allowed the Pakistani Air Force to station in their side. Then afterwards, when Ayatollah Khomeini came, then America and Iran became enemy, and then Pakistan became enemy of Iran. Then the situation changes, and you talk about 1994. So I would like to remind you, in 2006, why India has voted against Iran in I.N.D.I.A, International Atomic Energy Agency, just because the America wanted. Second thing, anybody can go and check. Hillary Clinton and S.M. Krishna, the then foreign minister of the Congress party, sitting together, and Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, means foreign minister of US, is saying India has committed that they will not buy oil from Iran. Bah, kya gajab ki independence thi. Third thing, Natwar Singh in his book One Life is Not Enough has categorically said that Sonia Gandhi ji called me in a party and said that I am having so much of pressure from several angles, including US, so I cannot continue in the foreign ministry. And he said that he was removed from foreign ministry because of the US pressure. So as far as our stance is concerned, it's very clear. We do not want to indulge an unnecessary involve in the war. It is a clear-cut war between the two factions of the Islamic countries. Today itself, Qatar has given a statement against Iran. Saudi Arabia has given a stern warning, and even Turkey and Azerbaijan has also spoken. मतलब एक कहावत होती है कि बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना, यहाँ पर है बेगानी जंग में गैर मुल्ला दीवाना. यहाँ लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि उनको इस चीज में, which is a clear cut. Another thing on the oil, I would like to put a fact in front of your viewers. Actually, on the critical issues, the critical mineral issue, when China twisted arm of America, now America decided to twist arm to China. China's source of crude oil were two important sources for Venezuela and Iran. So in a way, America is trying to cut the supply line of China. So the only option left with China will be Russia. That will be an advantageous position for Russia. And now we are also very much aware about the energy security, as the government has said, and we will be exercising all the options. Even till today, we are having 10 billion barrels of Russian oil today itself. And it is our victory that the America is saying, okay, मतलब देखिए इसको मैं ऐसे बता दूं, जो लोग कह रहे हैं उन्होंने परमिशन नहीं, उन्होंने ये होता है हम एक से सामान खरीद रहे हैं, दूसरा कहता भाई उससे सामान खरीदोगे तो हम नहीं देंगे, कोई बात नहीं, हम तो साहब उससे सामान खरीदेंगे, ठीक है भाई उससे भी खरीद लो तब भी हम देंगे. This is our victory, but the problem is the only interest of Congress is the disinterest of
Navika.
That's why they're always trying to create a problem in the smooth sailing. And last I would like to say, सर एक लाइन बस बोल दूं आपसे, ये सारी प्रॉब्लम शुरू हुई थी अक्टूबर 2023 में, when India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor was on the final stages. UAE has given recognition to Israel. Saudi Arabia was all set to give recognition to Israel. So the other pole of the Islamic world, that is led by Iran, they thought that now the UAE and Saudi Arabia are going to be in a very beneficial positions in the times to come, because in 10 to 15 years the oil will become redundant. So they tried to put a weak nerve by attacking Jews through Hamas. Now on this, no Muslim country will be able to say. But I would like to say, when Israel retaliated on Hamas for around more than 1 month. Not even a
Navika,
single statement from Saudi Arabia, no statement from UAE, not from Jordan. So this is the problem within the Muslim state. मगर क्या बोलता है? कहावत होती है कि नया मुल्ला प्याज ज्यादा खाता है.
Sudhanshu ji has told you the internal dynamics of the Islamic world, which has created this conflict at the moment. But Sanjay Jha, to your point, may I tell you at least 2 points that I want to correct you on. Number one, it is the Center for Strategic and International Studies which has said, to your point, that Chinese and Russian ships are being allowed to exit the Straits of Hormuz. Between February 23rd and 28th, 49 Chinese and Hong Kong flagged vessels transited, but since 1st of March, only 2 Chinese flagged ships have been able to move out. Before that, even we were moving out, Sanjay Jha. So on that fact, I'm correcting you. And on the second fact, again, the 3 ships that you're talking, Iranian ships, one docked with India, one with Sri Lanka, and the other was in the international waters. Despite a permission from the Indian government, they did not dock in India. Are you responsible for that? Is the government responsible for that? What is the point the opposition is making?
Navika, let me tell you, Sudhanshu ji very mischievously is trying to tell the viewers of Times Now, who I think are very enlightened and educated all over the country, he's trying to mislead them by saying that the West Asia war is a war between Muslim countries. I haven't heard anything more absurd than that. Sudhanshu ji, I have a lot of respect for you, but you are really indulging in the worst form of rhetoric here. You are not mentioning that Israel and America are on their own hegemonic trip, that end of day Ayatollah Khamenei has been assassinated, 75,000 people have been committed genocide against in Gaza. That doesn't bother you at all. You should worry that Mr. Modi went to Israel, the war started immediately. Mr. Modi has sided with a discredited America, but the president is in the Epstein file. He's a sexual predator.
My God, at a time when oil prices are around $115 a barrel, you want us to worry about all the issues rather than survival. All the issues other than survival, other than keeping our supply chains. And where does that leave us, Suhail said? I mean, at this point, what should we be looking at? What should India be looking at?
I have 3 comments to make. Sanjay Jha is being economical with his normally rather ebullient geopolitical knowledge. Don't you remember the fight that happened between Qatar and Saudi Arabia just 3 years ago? The Muslim world is divided today. There is no question. No one is saying who's at war, who's not at war. The Muslim world is divided today. The reason that Oman was left out and that today more and more countries, including Turkey, are now banding together is because of this division of the Muslim world that has been created for whatever reason. I don't even want to go there. I want to stick to the topic. The problem with the Congress and with the opposition today is they do not want a discussion. They want derision, they want interruption, and they want anarchy. Because if you wanted a discussion, you would have had a discussion based on what you asked for. You were the guys who moved a no confidence motion against Om Birla. Move it. Jaishankar issues a statement in Parliament. You say, oh, why is he issuing a statement? Why is there not a debate? If there is a debate without a statement, you will say, oh, but the position of the government is not known. What is the position of the government? So we'll come back to issuing a statement. I mean, for God's sake, let's be real. The Parliament of India today is a sham. Who has made it a sham? The opposition. While it is the business. See, I didn't interrupt you, Sanjay. Follow some civility. The sham of India's Parliament is the fact. Again, you see, did I interrupt you? I didn't. I mean, I could easily interrupt you, but I don't because we come from different stock. Point I'm making is that Parliament has continuously been interrupted. Earlier, we would say it's the government's job to run Parliament. Fine, the government is moving bills. What should the government do? Have the country come to a standstill because some people want to be anarchists and not actually ask for a debate? Then you follow the walkout principle. As someone wants to have a discussion, you walk out. Look, the decision, and Navika, this I'm making a serious point. I've even written about it 2 weeks ago. The decision that the government and the opposition need to take is Parliament of India in its current form any longer relevant? Because you and I are spending money for these people to either walk out or interrupt or fight but never come to any kind of resolution or conclusion. So the taxpayer is paying for MPs' privileges, perks, benefits. Nothing is coming out of it.
I agree.
Everyone is to blame. Now coming to the point of Iran, I think the government of India has to bat for the Indian people. It doesn't have to bat for any individual in India whose ideology, intellectualism is aligned to some Western ideology or Western philosophy. The fact is, we are home to 200 million Muslims. We cannot be a country that disregards that, but at the same time, we also can't be a country that disregards our sovereign responsibility. Our sovereign responsibility is to 1.4 billion people in India. Next is the priority of moving people out of distress zones or dreaded zones. Government is doing that. Now, point I'm making is, if every time there is a solution in Parliament and it is encountered with a conflict of the worst nature, where you don't want to discuss, where you want to be petulant.
True. You'll never have a solution. You'll never have a meeting ground. You'll never have a common ground. And Abbas Haider, that is the frustration of the people of India. At the moment, we are staring at a crisis, not of our making. It is a crisis of the situation of geopolitics, which has pushed the Western Asia and the Middle Eastern region into war. Now, whether they call it war, whether they call it conflict, I don't know, but it is a war. There are people dying, there are oil depots, there are salination plants and of water and water storage plants that are being hit, so that it is the impact on people. All this while you're screaming about Iran is also hitting water salination plants and water storage plants. So there is nothing to choose from. We are in a bad situation. We've got to look after the interests of our country. In the middle of this, Abbas Haider, you know, this histrionics, this drama of इस पे डिबेट करेंगे, उस पे नहीं डिबेट करेंगे. You wanted the no confidence motion against the speaker. Unless that is resolved, you can't move on to another topic. My friend, how can you shift the goalposts every morning when you wake up, depending on which side of the bed you woke up?
Navika ji, transparency and accountability are not optional in Parliament. They are the foundation of parliamentary system. Now, Parliament is not there to just read out, statements, and it is not just a notice board. So basically, if we want a serious discussion on a pressing issue, certainly we have, brought a no confidence motion against the Speaker of Lok Sabha. But now the most pressing issues about to our people is this war, because, it is hitting our great nation. It is, our strategic interests are our concern. We only want to align with our interests. But if our government is so confident about the foreign policy, why are they shying away with the questions of the opposition? That is the first question. Now, it's not about this war. This is not about Iran or West, or any other country. It is about us. It is about 140 million, 1.4 billion people of India. And it concerns us because our energy security is at stake, our trade routes are at stake, our around 1 crore people who are living in the West Asia are at their security is at stake. So that is why it concerns us. Now, Sudhanshu ji was talking about the regime change in Iran in 1979. Yes, the earlier regime, which was a stooge of the United States, they always stood for Pakistan. But the current regime always stood for our country. And now, when their head of state was assassination, all we wanted a condemnation and condolences. We never wanted our government to get into the war. That was not in our interest. But yes, we had to teach the world that our Bharat Mahan Desh, we need to stand up for the right. We need to stand up because, that their sovereignty was aggressed by the Israeli and American forces. 167 innocent girl children.
थोड़ा सा रिवाइंड करिए सुधांशु जी, इन्हें बता दीजिए खमेनी को किसने वहां पर डाला था. ये जो इंडिपेंडेंस डेमोक्रेसीज की बात कर रहे हैं, प्लीज लेट्स रिवाइंड एंड गो बैक टू हाउ Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was made the ruler.
Just 5 seconds.
The first thing I would like to...
Abbas Haider, Sudhanshu Trivedi is responding.
I just want to remind you, sir. So one thing. You are not knowing that the Foreign Secretary, Mr. Vikram Misri, has gone to Iranian embassy and expressed the condolence and signed the condolence message. Whatever was required, it is done. But I would like to ask, Saddam Hussein has given the oil coupons to the Congress party. When Saddam Hussein was hanged, can Mr. Sanjay Jha or Mr. Baz ever tell what was the reaction of Indian government? A complete mum. अरे वो जिसने आपको तेल के कूपन दिए बोलकर रिपोर्ट में, सद्दाम हुसैन को तो इंदिरा गांधी कहती थी हमारे बड़ा भारी फ्रेंड है, और उसके बाद टांग दिया गया. What happened? Can you show a single condolence message by any government official at the time of Saddam Hussein? अब आइए साहब, ये गद्दाफी को भी तो टांग दिया गया था, तब आपने कुछ बोला था क्या? इसीलिए हम आपसे कहना चाहते हैं. और दूसरा, in 2006 India voted against Iran in I.N.D.I.A, International Atomic Energy Agency. Anybody can go and check. And the Iran was stunned that why India voted against us. Sir, it was not just an issue of a personal condolence message to be given. It was an official stand on the diplomatic foreign policy, and that was because America se nuclear deal karni thi. That's why India openly opposed Iran. क्या बात करने की कोशिश करते हैं साहब फैक्ट ऑफ द मैटर में. और लास्ट में मैं कहना चाहता हूं, इंडिया का इसमें क्या लेना देना? आधा दर्जन कंट्री आपस में लड़ रहे हैं. इजराइल अमेरिका ईरान से लड़ रहे हैं. ईरान जो है वो सऊदी अरेबिया, यूएई, बहरीन, कतर, जॉर्डन, वो क्या कहते हैं, टर्की, अजरबैजान, सबसे लड़ रहा है. मतलब अन्य से. अच्छा ये बताइए, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं, इफ ऑल दीज कंट्रीज आर फाइटिंग, what you want to discuss in the parliament, what authority Indian parliament is having on this issue, and I challenge you, any time, anywhere in the world in the history of 75 years, can you call a single instance in which on any war of the other countries were discussed in Indian parliament? Korean war.
Sanjay Jha,
Sanjay Jha, 79. अब आप आइए, अभी
सुधांशु जी जरा जवाब सुन लीजिए.
अफगानिस्तान में भी वॉर हो रही है, वो
सुधांशु जी जरा जवाब सुन लीजिए. अरे सुधांशु जी जवाब सुन लीजिए. किसी भी प्रधानमंत्री के बारे में ये नहीं कहा गया था कि he came and he sang and he danced and it pleased the American president. No Indian prime minister featured in any reference to an Epstein file. Come on, what are you talking about? क्या बात कर रहे हैं? It is a blackmail. It is a blackmail.
A letter written to Kennedy.
How did Mr. Modi change India's foreign policy all by himself to abandon Iran and side with America and Israel?
But where have we abandoned Iran is the question I'm asking through this debate. Where have we abandoned Iran? Abhijit Iyer Mitra, tell me, where has India abandoned Iran? Why is Sanjay Jha just so agitated, and why is the Congress party so agitated? Why is the Samajwadi party so agitated that India has abandoned Iran?
First of all, I want to congratulate the Congress for taking Epstein so seriously and think that Epstein's word on foreign policy is everything. There is a reason that the only person qualified in the Congress party on foreign policy is Shashi Tharoor, and he seems very happy with what's happening right now. Now, one by one, Iran came to the Raisina dialogue. Did they or did they not? Did the Deputy Foreign Minister Khatibzadeh come? Did he sit with Jaishankar, shake hands? Yes, he did. Have we, even before all this criticism began on the 1st of March, the very second day of the bombing, did we or did we not give refuge to that ship, the one that asked us? Yes, we did. You have already fact-checked them on China and Russia. This is the same Rahul Gandhi who went to the UK and asked America to do regime change in India. Now he wants us to condemn America. You're the liar. You're the liar. And
fake news.
Now,
ladies and gentlemen, that's fake news.
Fade him, yeah. That's fake news. I don't interrupt him. He always keeps interrupting everybody. And that too lying, shamefacedly lying.
Navika,
okay, all right. 1 minute. Let's maintain our cool. And Sanjay, nobody interrupted you. You've developed a habit of interrupting people. Don't do it when you don't want it to be done to you. Simple courtesy. Right. Simple courtesy.
He's interrupted Suhail. He's interrupted Sudhanshu.
Abhijit, carry on. Abhijit,
just let us do that. None of these Congress people have basic common decency. Now, Rahul wanted them to regime change India. Now, he wants us to go against America because they want to regime change Iran. This is a schizophrenic party with its schizophrenic members. And the problem is, if we listen to people like Rahul on foreign policy, we'll be bombed like Vietnam, we'll be invaded and occupied like Iraq, and we'll be isolated like North Korea. Remember, it was under his grandmother and her brilliant foreign policy that the Americans sent the 7th Fleet or the 5th Fleet against us and threatened us. with that same regime change. So please, really, they should not be opening their mouths on foreign policy at all. It is really better to listen to, I don't know, Joe Rogan on foreign policy or Tucker Carlson on foreign policy, because Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his acolytes are in that exact same league.
Well, I want to get in Advocate Anmol Pawar. And Anmol Pawar, my question to you is, at this moment where we're seeing a fight between countries, between a large part of the world, of not of our making, and extremely complicated relationships there and situations there, should we be worried about India and Indians, or should we poke our nose into everybody's affairs and spoil our situation and put Indians abroad at greater risk than they are currently? Where do you stand?
Good evening, Navika ji. Navika ji, we must be certainly concerned about the Indians. Sudhanshu ji said that it's a peculiar case where we must understand that war is going on. Someone in parliament is tall. Begani jang mein Abdullah Diwana is what he said. Navika ji, our Prime Minister claims that we are Vishwa Guru. He has a 56-inch chest. And a leader who claims himself to be a Vishwa Guru, he must speak with clarity. He must speak with clarity. He must protect the national interest, and he must not succumb to the global pressure. Today, the reality is that we are heading towards energy crisis. Here's the reality. In February, the government said that we have oil reserves for 75 days. Just 3 days back, the same minister made a statement that our oil reserves is only left for 25 days.
Sorry, that's Secondly, not fact-checking you. Fact-checking you. Today, the government has said they have oil reserves for 50 days, not 25 days. You got the wrong number from somewhere. What is your source? I don't know.
50 days.
We have been in briefings on the oil situation, and government sources have told us 50 days oil is present in India, and that is where facts stand.
3 days back, the energy minister says that there's no energy shortage and prices will not reduce. Within 24 hours, the LPG price increased by ₹60 and the commercial cylinder is priced at 1883. Now, they are saying that Sudhanshu ji ne kaha ke hum Russia se tel kharid rahe hain, it is our victory. Now the US is directing us that we'll buy oil from Russia for 30 days. Our Prime Minister must tell very specifically that we are a sovereign nation and we can take our decisions on our own. This is what opposition is demanding. Today, when Russia used to give us crude oil at a discounted rate of $13 per barrel, now we have to pay a premium of $4 to $5 barrel. अब वो हमें डिस्काउंट नहीं दे रहे, अब वो हमें महंगा तेल दे रहे हैं और बीजेपी वाले कह रहे हैं ये हमारी जीत है. And we are asking for discussion that why is our Prime Minister succumbing under US pressure? They are dictating us that we won't buy oil from Russia. When we were discussing about the Indo-US trade deal, you might recall that when we asked the Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal कि भाई हम रशिया से तेल खरीदना बंद कर रहे हैं क्या, then he said go and ask Mr. Shiv Shankar. And when the same question was asked to him, उन्होंने कहा कि जाके
Advocate Anmol Pawar, आप पुरानी बातें कर रहे हैं. The world is moving at a fast pace. What Mr. Piyush Goyal said then has now been responded to several times over. And Mr. Anmol Pawar, if you study international geopolitical situations just so closely, maybe you have read somewhere that in December we bought 1.2 million barrels per day from Russia. We are still buying. Even before the war, even after the US deal, we were still buying 1 million barrels per day from Russia. मत दिखाइए, ये फैक्ट्स हैं जो मैं बता रही हूं आपको. लेकिन सुधांशु त्रिवेदी जी, 1.2 million barrels in December, 1.1 million barrels per day in January and 1 million barrels in February, फिर भी ये कन्विंस नहीं हो रहे. चक्कर क्या है?
1924 barrels per day in April,
did not help the Indian
1,000 barrels per day in
Anmol
January,
Pawar ji.
reduction of more than 50%.
Navika, it helped Mr. Ambani's refinery, not the Indian consumer.
अरे पवार साहब, आपको कुछ जानकारी सुनिए।
Russian oil.
पवार साहब ये बताइए 2004 से 14 के बीच में कितना ऑयल खरीदा था रशिया से, बताइए। संजय झा जी, अब्बास साहब एंड पवार साहब, बोलिए। From 2014, how much oil you have imported from Russia?
आप ये बोलिए कि आप ये रशिया से तेल खरीदना क्यों
और
किया?
precisely
कौन से
0.02%, because America doesn't want। ये होता सर, अब देखिए फिर भी
डरे हुए हैं, वो कमजोर दिखाई दे रहे हैं। आप बताइए।
आकर बोलना शुरू कर देते।
One at a time, अनमोल जी।
ये रहा ना, हम तो दे रहे हैं।
अरे भाई, मैंने तो आपसे कहा, you have not bought any crude oil from Russia from 2004 to 14 because you were succumbing to US pressure. We got exemption from US during the Joe Biden regime, and today, you know, this is our victory. That we said we will get oil from Russia. Still America is going on with FTA. And one more thing I would like to say, just to the viewers, because first we have done an FTA with Australia and New Zealand. Then we finalized the FTA with Britain. Then we finalized the FTA with UAE. Then we finalized the FTA with the Northern European countries, Nordic countries. Then we finalized the FTA with European Union. And within 72 hours, the deal was finalized with US. Now your viewers can understand that which situation has compelled which country to quickly enter into an FTA.
Navika,
I think cannot be more independent.
Absolutely. And what are our viewers saying today on their voice? Arun Banerjee, the opposition parties do not know what they actually want. Their only intention is to disturb the government and hamper the parliamentary proceedings. Sansad says opposition is facing a leadership crisis which has left them directionless and often finds themselves running into each other. This is the impression people are carrying. But we did a snap poll and we asked the question. First demanded motion to remove speaker, now want debate on the war. Is opposition shifting goalposts? Yes, say 88% people. No, say 10%. Can't say 2%. 88% people believe आपको पता ही नहीं है हुजूर आपको चाहिए क्या. Shifting of goalposts is the only business that the opposition is engaged in. Where does that leave India? Well, viewers know where the country should go. Is the government taking them there? The people of India will decide. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on Debate Now.